Summer is here, and what it brings is delicious summer fruits. We have this delicious nectarine. It looks so beautiful and it smells divine. We're going to be making a mini nectarine pie. So let's get started. Now this is a store-bought crust, but you can also make your own too if you like. So what I'm going to do is you can use a cookie cutter, or this is actually a mini tart pan. And we're going to go ahead and just put that right down there and just push that down. Now what this will do is this will give it like a really nice design, and then you just tear off the excess. It has a nice pattern on the side there. If you don't have this, you can also use like your fingers and just pinch, or you could use like a fork, a back end of the fork, or a fork. So this is a nice pretty design. So let's go ahead and cut out one more to show you. We're just going to go ahead and make sure that if you get the pie crust dough, or if you have made it yourself, you roll it out thin, because you don't want it really thick, because this is going to be a mini nectarine pie. So basically you want to make sure that it's a nice thin consistency, or rolled out thinly. And so it's like, and it's because it's going to go into the cupcake pans. So let me show you what that looks like. Now this is going to be a longer, actually depth-wise, it's going to be like longer. So if you can put a lot of filling in this, which is nice. Okay, now I've also showed you before how to use cups and stuff like that. So this is a different way to do it. And you just kind of push that down, make sure it goes all the way down the bottom. And if there's any extra stuff, you can just push that in. It'll still make a really nice design. And we're just going to go ahead and do it one more time there. And then once we get that all in, just make sure it's all pushed to the bottom. And then you can just push those together there. We're going to take our fork and go ahead and poke it. Now the reason why we poke it is so it doesn't bubble up. Now I poke this now, and then like I'll take it out in the oven halfway, and then just make sure, because otherwise you're going to get like it'll like bubble up. And then you can't get as much filling in that way. So once you get this all done, we're going to go ahead and just put this in the oven at 350. It's going to go, we're going to start off with about 15 minutes, but probably give it more. You just want to check it and make sure that it's nice golden brown color. Each oven is different, so it just depends what you want to do. Alright, so the pie crust is cooking. We're going to take a half a cup of apple juice and pour that right in. A half a cup of granulated sugar, and then we're just going to stir that all up, and then we're going to go ahead and cut our fruit and put that in. So the amount of nectarines you add depends upon how much you love nectarines. So right here, this is what 2 nectarines look like. And I'm also going to add a third because I love nectarines. They're so yummy. But it depends upon what you want to add. I'm adding my third nectarine, which I love nectarines. They're so great. They smell wonderful. All right. So you're probably wondering why I only added half a cup of apple juice. Well, the fruit itself is very moist, so it's going to add more moisture to it. So what I have here is just a little bit of water and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Now the reason why I do that in there is because this will help thicken it up a little bit. And I do it in the water because otherwise you get like, it gets lumpy, and you don't want like that in there. So we're going to go ahead and put this over the stove and put it on a low, like depending upon what kind of oven you have, like just a low boil. Get it to a low boil and just keep stirring it. All right, the pie crust have come out of the oven, and you can see they're nice. You see it's nice and flat in there. Nice golden brown color. So we're just letting that cool while we are working on our nectarines. All right, so we just got this off the stove, and you can see it looks really good. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to go over some things that if something goes wrong, what you can do. If it's too thin, you can cook it a little longer and add some more cornstarch. If it is not sweet enough, you can cook it a little longer on a low heat and add a little more sugar. So you always want to, like, try to taste it and see what it looks like. Now this is a good consistency, and as it cools, it's going to get a little thicker. So we're just going to go ahead and let this cool. All right, so we've cooled it down, so it's like a really nice consistency. Now keep in mind that how big the pieces of nectarine you want is entirely up to you on how big that you cut it. I cut mine for smaller ones because it's it's just a little tart, so a little pie. So that way I can fill it in. So we're going to go ahead and fill this in. So the nice chunks in there. And then I'm just using a spoon. Alrighty. So as you can see, this is a much higher one right here. And it goes to the height a little higher than what we've done before because it holds a lot more pie filling, which is wonderful. So let me show you what the finished product looks like. And here we have the lovely finished product. As you can see, it looks so yummy. And like I said, you can put as big as pieces you want in there or as small as pieces you want. So I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope you get a chance to try this out. And stay cool. And let's make the world a better place.